You've heard thousands of people scream at the exact same moment. You've watched an arena erupt before a wrestler even says a word. It looks spontaneous, it feels impossible. But the real answer is far stranger. The loudest moments in professional wrestling are rarely created by a microphone, they begin inside your mind. Why can one entrance shake an entire arena while another is met with silence? Every crowd brings expectations into the building. Before the first entrance theme plays, your brain is already predicting what might happen next. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman explained that people constantly rely on fast mental shortcuts. Those shortcuts help you recognize familiar music, famous poses, and legendary rivalries almost instantly. Wrestling uses those shortcuts better than almost any other form of entertainment. A single guitar riff can trigger years of memories before a superstar even appears. Memory is powerful. Neuroscientist Eric Kandel spent decades studying how experiences become lasting memories. Every unforgettable match strengthens emotional connections between moments, music, faces, victories, and heartbreak. That is why hearing a famous entrance theme years later can still produce goosebumps. Crowds also influence each other. Social psychologist Solomon Ash demonstrated how people often adjust their behavior after seeing the reactions of others. Inside a packed arena, one section begins cheering, another joins, then another. Within seconds, thousands of voices merge into one enormous reaction. It feels personal because it becomes personal. Professional wrestling understands anticipation. Sometimes the audience waits weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years. The longer the story continues, the greater the emotional release becomes when the payoff finally arrives. That release is not simply excitement, it is the reward your brain experiences after uncertainty finally disappears. Researchers studying anticipation have repeatedly found that expectation can be just as emotionally powerful as the reward itself. Every near miss, every surprise interruption, every mystery vignette keeps your attention focused because your brain wants closure. Think about legendary returns. Sometimes the superstar does almost nothing at first. They stand on the stage, they look at the audience, the crowd finishes the story before the wrestler even steps into the ring. That reaction was built over years, not seconds. The best performers understand pacing. They pause after the music hits. They allow the audience to respond. They raise one hand instead of speaking immediately. Silence becomes part of the performance because anticipation gives emotion room to grow. Storytelling matters too. Human beings naturally organize experiences into stories. Cognitive psychologist Jerome Bruner argued that narrative is one of the primary ways people understand the world. Wrestling presents heroes, villains, betrayals, redemption, sacrifice, and triumph through continuing stories that unfold over months instead of minutes. When those stories are consistent, every match feels larger than the match itself. Every victory reminds you of previous defeats. Every stare across the ring recalls years of unfinished business. Even chants reveal something fascinating. A chant starts with only a handful of fans. Soon, the rhythm becomes predictable. Predictable rhythms are easy for the brain to repeat. Suddenly, thousands of strangers are speaking together as though they rehearsed for weeks. Modern broadcasts amplify this experience. Cameras capture faces in the audience. Commentary acknowledges reactions. Social media spreads unforgettable moments across the world within minutes. Fans who were never inside the arena still feel connected because emotion transfers surprisingly well through shared experiences. Not every planned moment succeeds. Sometimes audiences reject the story they are given. Wrestling history is filled with examples where fans decided someone deserved cheers instead of boos. That reminds you that the audience is never just watching the performance, the audience is helping write it. The greatest performers learn to listen as carefully as they speak. They adjust timing, expressions, and even entire character directions based on what the crowd communicates. That relationship turns wrestling into a conversation rather than a lecture. The next time an arena explodes before a superstar even appears, notice what really happened. Years of storytelling met memory, anticipation met emotion. Individual voices became one shared experience. What sounded like noise was actually thousands of personal memories arriving at exactly the same moment. The next huge WWE reaction will still feel magical. It should. But now you know the magic is built from psychology, storytelling, memory, anticipation, and the remarkable way people influence one another. The crowd is not simply watching history, the crowd is helping create it. The next time an arena erupts before anyone says a single word, remember the question that opened this story. It never started with the music, it started with you.